Hello and welcome to the programme. Now, today we're telling you about the international film festival called Molodist. Now, it was founded back in 1917. It's one of the oldest Kyiv-based annual film festivals, in fact. Now, to talk more about the events, as well as the development and perspectives of the world movie industry, I'm pleased to say we're joined in the studio today by Léo Soesanto, the festival programmer, film critic from France as well. Hello, thank you so much for coming in today.
Hi, thank you.
So before we start, you are one of the jury members in the national competition at the Molodist Film Festival. It's a big responsibility, I think.
Indeed, yeah.
So before we start talking, we have a 30-second, 40-second trailer of the different films that you're going to be judging. So let's have a listen. There we go. So there was sort of a quick montage of all the different films, and some of them you've seen already. So you just arrived yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
What are you looking out for exactly in the national competition? What films stand out? How do you judge them? Is there a sort of list that you have for yourself, or is it just your initial impressions, your sort of gut feeling?
I don't have any preconception, you know, whenever I attend a jury or a festival. I mean, I'm just looking for good films, whether they're short, whether they're long. I'm very curious and excited in the sense that I don't know much about Ukrainian short or Ukrainian cinema. I mean, they don't reach us as often or so easily. So I'm here to see what's going on, and I'm expecting to be surprised, and that's it.
You're expecting to be surprised?
Of course, yeah.
And that's kind of good, actually, that perhaps you don't know so much about Ukrainian cinema, because actually, for you, and probably when you go to other festivals as well, you don't have any sort of expectations. Is that a fair statement?
This is the idea, yeah. I mean, whenever I go to a festival or whenever I'm a jury member, I mean, I don't like to read, you know, like the catalogue, or I don't like to read the synopsis. I just want to be surprised and just to take the film as it is.
And is that because you want to sort of understand the film as you go along, or?
I want to be fresh. I mean, I think I have to watch around 20 films. I think it's very difficult. It's more difficult, I think, than the job of my colleagues for the international competition, because you have to judge like 20 filmmakers in a row. And it's difficult in the sense that, I mean, you watch a film and then you have to switch from one universe to another. It's like you have to reboot your mind or like your spirit every film. So it's like you have to reboot your mind, your critical mind, like 20 times.
So does that mean that you don't watch them back to back? You have to give yourself a break?
Yeah, I mean, I have to give myself a mental break of like 10, 15 seconds between switching from one film to another, and you don't have time to watch them again. So you have to be quick in your judgment and to trust yourself, of course.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've probably been asked this question before, but do you find it difficult as a juror to sort of step back and look at the film as a whole, instead of sort of critiquing small things, perhaps like the shot, the lighting, the action scene? How does that work?
I don't have any method. If there was a method, I mean, I would be very happy to know it. But I don't have any like method or like any criteria. I mean, it's I have to take the film as a whole. So I mean. Whatever the genre, like the pace, the length is, I mean, I have to be surprised. I mean, I think I'm a professional viewer. I'm a professional spectator. So I trust my guts and my feelings. So I don't have any criteria. I mean, if it's good, I mean, it shows. It shows. That's it.
And what's kind of interesting, I was actually looking on the Molodist website. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to go myself yet.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm in the same situation as you almost. But there's such a huge variety of films on all sorts of different topics. So there's one called Petrivka Requiem, which is about the chaos of decommunization, which is quite an important topic in Ukraine. And there's another one called Anna that's about a lady who lives in eastern Ukraine. And, she wants a new life. Sorry, I'm probably sort of giving away all the details here. But I guess the interesting thing about film festivals like Molodist is that they have these unique themes that perhaps you wouldn't see in Cannes, for example. Is that right, or not so much?
Well,
it's quite specialised in a way. Decommunization and the war, these are all sort of current topics that perhaps people don't know so much about.
And of course, I mean, most of these films deal with the Ukrainian way of life, with the Ukrainian society. So we don't know much of it in Cannes or in other big festivals. So for me, it's a window of opportunity. It's a window. I mean, it's an opportunity for me to know more about some Ukrainian issues in society.
Yeah, and also you work at the Cannes Critic Week.
Yeah.
And am I right that you sort of involved in the short film
The short
program?
film selection, yeah.
What is it about short films that you enjoy so much? Because I personally love short films. So what is it about that you enjoy?
There are several things. I mean, I'm specialized into looking for new filmmakers, like newcomers. So short films is where you start, and I'm always interested. When I see a short film, I'm thinking I would like to watch his or her next or first feature. I mean, I would like to see her or him doing the next step to features. So that's why that's what I'm looking when I work for Critics Week, when I select film for Cannes. I mean, this is I'm trying to identify, to find a new voice, and when it's still fresh, and when it's about to make the transition to filmmaking. And then I like short films because you can do in a short format some things that you cannot do in features.
Like what example?
Animation, things like that, or more experimental stuff, things that can be good for 20 or 30 minutes, but which cannot be that good stretch on 1 hour and a half or as a feature.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking as well, because whenever I've been to short film festivals, and they even have short films at Molodist, if you get a chance outside your jury responsibilities, there's some being played, but I think it's really interesting how there's just one after the other. If you go to a festival, you see perhaps 7 or 8 films in 1 or 2 hours. And I kind of like that. You go from sort of theme to theme. It doesn't get too boring.
Of course. You travel a lot. I mean, you go from one universe to another, from one context to another. You go from animation to live action. You go from comedy to drama. So it's like browsing, I don't know, a playlist on Spotify or on a streaming music website. You go from one song to another, and you just enjoy the ride, of course, but you like it. You like if it's different and if it transports you from one universe to another.
And it's kind of interesting as well, because sometimes people might ask, what's the difference between going to a film festival and your sort of local cinema where they just have the American blockbusters on and that sort of thing. So, and that's why these film festivals like Molodist are so important, because you wouldn't see these films.
It's very important, because I mean these days, I mean you think that you can watch everything on Netflix, on your TV, on your computer, and cinema is everywhere. And festival, I think, like Molodist or like any festival, is the last occasion to gather people around on films and cinema. Because these days, because of Netflix, because of TV and internet, the film experience is so fragmented. It's just by yourself. And festivals, I think, like Molodist or Cannes, are a unique way to experience cinema as it should be, like a mass, like something that you can share with the audience. And most importantly, it's an occasion, it's the opportunity for the filmmaker to share their film with the audience.
So
you cannot do that.
Actually, I mean, in your point of view, perhaps it's slightly off topic, but do you think that these online streaming services, like you mentioned, do you think they give more opportunity for young filmmakers, or do you think it actually means that people are more prone to just sitting on the couch with some popcorn, watching some sort of famous series and not bothering to go out to their local cinema? Do you have a view on this?
I think online streaming, it's a double-edged sword. Of course, it gives an opportunity to some filmmakers to show their films. Like Netflix is buying a lot of indie independent films. So it's a good thing, because most of this film wouldn't get proper distribution in their own country. But then these films will be lost in a way in Netflix among all those many
the search
choices.
box, when you have the list.
Yeah. So you're like, well, what I'm looking today. So this is the other side of the coin. I mean, it will be lost in a way. So I'm happy that Netflix or these streaming services can allow people to watch films that they wouldn't watch in the local cinema. But then you have to find them.
Yeah, of course.
You have to find them, and sometimes Netflix they don't do much about promoting these films, which need to be promoted in a way, one way or another.
And did you know much about Ukrainian cinema before you came, or have you spoken to people before you came about sort of the Ukrainian film industry, or is it still quite sort of low-key on the map?
It's still low-key because from the outside, of course, Russian film industry overshadow everything. But I saw some Ukrainian films, like features or shorts, so I have more or less an idea. But I'd like to spend my time here to dwell deeper in my knowledge of Ukrainian cinema.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, well, Léo, thank you so much for coming into our studio today, and it was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was Léo Soesanto, a festival programmer and a film critic from France. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more here on UATV.